Day 3 of the Ken Paxton impeachment trial featured more testimony from top aides who blew the whistle on their boss.
Those whistleblowers spent the day justifying their actions, but were also grilled for what they did during cross-examination. Fox 7 Austin's chief political reporter Rudy Koski is covering the trial. He joined us in our earlier newscast to answer some questions.
It is like a boxing match, especially today. A lot of dancing around, a lot of big swings, a lot of dodging taking place. But, you know, no one really seemed to hit that big knockout punch today, especially during the morning session. Didn't see a lot. There's a lot of give and take, some really good arguments, but really no knockout blows.
Rudy, one of the articles of impeachment involves the accusation that Attorney General Paxton issued an opinion to prevent property owned by developer Nate Paul, one of his campaign donors, from being sold at auction. Today, defense attorneys claimed the opinion was not done to help a political donor, but to help people who were having financial problems during the pandemic. This was something new, right?
Yeah, good catch, Rebecca. Yeah, it is something new. It's the first time that I've really heard this kind of spin, and in a way it seemed like the defense team was trying to turn the tables on the whistleblowers who said that they were coming forward. They did what they did because they were trying to protect the office, protect the public, and now the defense saying, no, the Attorney General, he was trying to protect the people during a very bad time, during the pandemic, when family budgets were tight, people were not working, they were out of work, they were at the risk of losing their homes or being kicked out of their apartments because they couldn't pay the rent. And so that's why the Attorney General did what he did in trying to get that special allotment to try to stop those foreclosure hearings or make it more difficult for those foreclosure hearings to take place. Certainly was a big spin. I'm just not quite sure, because it's so far out there, I'm not quite sure how it was received by the senators who are acting as jury in this case.
Rudy, we heard testimony today about the DPS file with the FBI brief on Nate Paul. That's one of the most serious articles of impeachment here. What happened with all that today?
Yeah, Mike, that's the real serious one, because that's the part of the articles where you can start talking about obstruction of justice. Now, a top aide, Ryan Vassar, he came in late this afternoon. He was part of the whistleblower group. He was part of the folks involved in that opinion dealing with the foreclosures, but he also was involved in this special DPS file that Nate Paul really wanted to get his hands on. He wanted to get his hands on it because there was some specific information that the FBI had in that file, a briefing from the FBI that had some names of individuals in an investigation that was targeting Nate Paul. And during the testimony by Ryan Vassar, he told the judge and the jury there that Attorney General Paxton came up to him and said he wanted to get that report, that brief, that file released. He didn't feel like that there was anything in there that would cause a problem. Now, of course, the whistleblower said, wait a minute, there's some very sensitive information in here that doesn't need to get out, and certainly doesn't need to get out to Nate Paul and his people for the things that they were involved in. And somehow that information, after it was reviewed by Attorney General Paxton, returned to the whistleblowers, that information apparently got to Nate Paul and his people. How that happened, we didn't hear connecting dots today, but it's alleged that Paxton somehow got that information to Nate Paul and his people.
Kind of a side note here, Rudy, the day started with a strange social media post from lead defense attorney Tony Busby. What was all of that about? And you were there, you know, so talk about what he said and what you saw.
Yeah, you know, day one, when this all started and everybody started showing up, all the media, everyone in the gallery, we kind of looked down and we saw Tony Busby and noticed that it looked like that he got a really bad sunburn or had gone through some type of facial treatment, a peel or something like that, and his face was really red. Well, today started with a really interesting social media post from Tony Busby claiming that the media had doctored all the video images coming out, making him look orange, kind of burnt red, and just really cartoonish and strange. And he said that it was part of a media conspiracy. Now, I can tell you, for sure, some of the images were enhanced, it seemed, not necessarily intentionally, but his face in person was pretty red, pretty orange.
Well, there you have it. Okay, we're out of time. Rudy Koski, thanks very much.